If your horse is constantly nervous anytime you take it somewhere new, it can take the fun out of the whole experience. And so in today's video, I wanted to share some tips that I've discovered when it comes to helping your horse settle into new environments. So if you want your horse to get used to new environments, you gotta take him to new environments. Horses learn by repetition, so the more they do something, the more comfortable they will feel doing it. You can start this at home. For example, if you have a horse that's only used to being ridden in the arena, start going out on trails, or maybe take it to the other side of the barnyard and just start working it and introducing it to environments it's not quite used to. The first time you do take your horse somewhere new, I would recommend, number one, taking along another experienced horse or horse person, and that way they can offer support. The other horse can make your horse feel comfortable. The other experienced person can help make you feel comfortable. Also, choose an easy venue. So for example, if you want to get into showing, but your horse isn't really comfortable going out yet and showing, maybe try a schooling show or something where the environment is really relaxed, you don't feel the pressure of competing and winning, and you can just take your horse out there and let them have a good time. Tucker here is a prime example about how this point works. When we first got Tucker and we first got our horse trailer, he hated going new places. He would be a nervous wreck every time we went somewhere new. But I just started taking him out every single weekend and getting him used to going to new places. And now he's traveling the country and we're in Alabama and he's an old pro. So it really is just repetition, where the more you can do it with your horse, the better. One thing that will be very beneficial to your horse in new environments is to develop a routine. And this is usually easier if you're somewhere for multiple days, like if you're horse camping or you're going to like a multi-day show. Routines are important to horses because as prey animals, they like to know what to expect. And so a routine lets them know exactly what's coming up next. So this may look like, number one, feeding your horse at the exact same time each day you're out, so they can come to expect, okay, at this time they're going to come out and they're going to feed me. These horses here, they get fed in the morning, at lunch, and in the evening, and they know exactly when they get fed because they will start whinnying. They'll start looking in our window right there and waiting for us to come out. Another thing you can do to prepare them is to get them used to situations before they encounter them in new environments. So for example, standing on a high line like this. I put my horses on a high line and I let them experience that at home before we went to a new environment, and they had to do it. Likewise, if your horse has never been in a stall before, I wouldn't wait till you get to somewhere new to put them in a stall, because that can create a lot of anxiety in horses. Take time at home to put them in a stall and let them get used to that environment before you do it off the property. This even goes down to jumping or cross-country schooling. Like before I took Tucker cross-country schooling, I would practice certain obstacles he may find. Like I would find little logs, and if I could find a ditch, I'd go over a ditch, just to help him get used to seeing different things that he wasn't used to. Being aware of what you may unknowingly or subconsciously be communicating to your horse is a big part of helping them feel comfortable in new environments. So what I mean by this is horses don't talk. They communicate through body language, and so that's also the primary way they're going to read us and communicate with us. In certain situations, when we're feeling stressed and anxious, our body will communicate that to the horse even if our mouth isn't, for example. And since horses are prey animals, they naturally pick up on your feelings and they will reflect that, because if you are feeling unsafe, that means they should feel unsafe as well. Just some things to watch out for is being tense in your body. So if you're on your horse and you're just tense and your arms are tense and your legs are tense, that easily communicates to your horse that they need to be tense as well. Number two is your breathing and your heart rate. So I don't know if anyone else has ever seen this, but if I'm standing next to my horse and suddenly they get worked up, I can physically see their heart beating, like by looking at their girth area. And so if your heart rate is increased, your horse can pick up on that, and that to them tells them that they need to be in flight mode. Another one is breathing. So if we're nervous or anxious or feeling stressed, humans tend to hold their breath, and I'll find myself doing that on a horse, where if I'm doing something that may be a little stressful or I'm a little nervous to do, I'll kind of hold my breath, and when I get through it, I'll be like, oh. But horses can feel you holding your breath, and that to them means that they need to be on edge. So I know that's a lot, and it may be something you've never even thought about before, and there's a lot that goes into it. So I created a free guide. It's called the Horse Handler's Body Language Guide, that walks you through how you communicate with your horse, like just through body language, not through your voice, not through aids or range or anything like that, but how you would subconsciously communicate with your horse in certain situations, and then what you should do in order to change it. It's set up to be a quick reference guide, so if you're like, okay, I'm doing this, you can look at it and be like, this is how I need to correct myself. So you can just pull it out on your phone, read through it, and check it. I'm offering that totally for free, so go down to the link in the description to access that. Another thing that can go a long way in not only keeping you safe, but also your horse safe in new environments, is to be in control of your horse. So I would not wait until you go to a new environment to start learning groundwork. Or to start learning how to stop your horse if they bolt and take off. Like, those are things you need to have an understanding of before you go somewhere new. So I would say groundwork is great for knowing how to control your horse on the ground. If you got a nervous horse on the ground, you can use groundwork to actually help calm them down and help get them focused on something else. Knowing how to one rein stop and knowing how to work your horse and do serpentines and circles to where you can help them focus back under saddle, that's important, and it's also going to help keep your horse under control if they are really nervous. And this kind of piggybacks on one of our last points, but don't wait until you're in a new environment to take your horse on a trail ride for the first time. Like, that is something you should do at home. So preparing your horse is also part of having control of them once you're in the new environment. Because new environments pose a lot of different situations, and there are a lot of variables that can go on, and you need to make sure you're safe, that your horse is safe, and that other people or animals around you are safe. We've been traveling around the country for 2 months now, full-time with our horses, and having the understanding of how my body language affects them has been so useful, just because on certain days you feel different things, and even that can come across to your horse. Like, some days I may just wake up and be mad or frustrated, and I don't want that to influence them. And so knowing how to recognize how I may communicate with them in those situations, it helps me know how to change it. Once again, check out that free Horse Handler's Body Language Guide. It's linked in the description. It's something you can just pull up on your phone whenever you're at the barn so you can read it and look at it.